Hi, my name is Jeremy. This is Remy's Recording, and this is the Mod Duo X from Mod Devices. This is the second video in a series of 3 or 4 about the Mod Duo X. I was asked to show it off to y'all like I did the Mod Duo last year sometime, and that's what we're doing. First video was an overview of the device itself, ins and outs, hardware, and sort of all that kind of good intro stuff. So go check that one out if you're looking at this thing and feeling confused. But we'll go over patching today, which is going to deobfuscate a lot more of the stuff that we went over yesterday. So let's get to it. I have an OP1 here, as you can hear. I have a little patch that I made here called Secret Cave Delay, which is a auto panner going into a delay, going into 2 pitch shifters on one channel, and a delay going into a reverb on another channel. Yeah, that's hardware bypass. And that's with it on. Pretty spacey, right? Let's go take a look at what makes it work. So this is my patch. We'll make a whole new patch today, at least one. If you double click or go to the plus sign, you can take a look at these patches. You can see over here on the left, I have my inputs 1 and 2 and my outputs over here 1 and 2. And yeah, I've split these channels up. I've got left and right going different places. If you go over here and you click on something that has multiple connections, you will see the ability to undo those connections simultaneously or individually, which is nice. So yeah, this is one patch. Let me open up another one that I've done. This is the interface for the Mod Duo X that you can access in Chrome via a little IP address. You do not need a computer to make this thing run. This is just where you do patching to make your patches. So there's my original dry OP1, and we're going to start bringing in some of the things here. Let me make this so you can actually see the patch. Put it up on the screen while we're working here. Zoom out. Oh, we're zoomed out all the way. All right. So that's a really noisy patch I called Trent Stopped By, a little soundscape thing that can take pretty much anything and turn it into a really ugly drone. So let's just take a look at the patch real quick. Don't worry, we'll get to patching our own stuff too. So I have my left and right inputs here. Here's my hardware bypass control, just kicking it over here, which is assigned to this button. Button. Who's got the button? Left input is going into 2 things here. We have a dual pitch shifter, this 2 voices thing, and that is going into 2 paranoia distortions, which are a bit crusher distortion. We're processing the left and right separately, discretely. Each one of those with its own controls. These crush and mangle controls over here are the crush and mangle controls for each one of these. You can see it there responding when I turn the knobs. Crush, mangle. Each one of those is going into a left and right of a shimmer reverb, and then going to a gain output, which has its own control as well. Down here, this pitch shifter is going into 2 sort of float delays, and then into 2 more pitch shifters, which are just screwing those up, and then out into a gain control. So a lot of processing, a lot of just like experimenting. What can I put into something else to make it sound even crazier? And that's one of the cool things about this modular environment here. You can do whatever you want pretty much. So let's go ahead and make a new pedal board real quick, and I'll show you the basics of patching. So we have our inputs and outputs here. Input 1, input 2, output 1, output 2. These can act independently of each other, meaning that you can have like a whole chain on 1 and a whole different chain on 2 and have them process 2 different instruments coming in, all that good stuff. You can do it in stereo like I'm doing right now. When you make a new pedal board, default, this little gain thing here is inline and already assigned to an output knob, which is pretty sweet. And you can see the knob responding. So let's go ahead and start patching something. Go ahead and compress our signal coming in. So I'm going to drag this compressor. I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this. So I've assigned my input 1s and 2, left and right, to my compressor. I'm going to go ahead and come over here and assign my output to the compressor. Wonderful. Like that. If you double click on a device, you're going to bring it into focus. The compressor is cool because it has a sidechain input. You can actually like send it a sidechain, like a kick or something like that, which you can generate within here, and it'll sidechain your compress. So I can hear a lot from this. I just kind of want to make sure that we're getting a nice even signal coming in. Great. Okay, so now we have a compressor compressing our shiz. Let's go ahead and add a flanger. That's going to be under modulator. How about this? Cool. So I'm going to do this again. Pomp. 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 Cool, there's our flanger. Okay, so let's say I wanted this flanger to be something I could turn on and off. If you hit the little gear here, you now have access to all the controls, and sometimes more that you see on the faceplate of the pedal here. Especially with the generators, which we'll show off in a different video, there'll be a lot more controls hidden underneath this little thing that you'll probably want to expose and assign to things. So I definitely want the flanger on and off to be controlled by a stomp box button. So I'm going to hit the little thing right here. I'm going to select my device, and I'm going to select button 1. Now the bypass for the flanger on and off is here. So pretty nice, right? So what else can I do to this? Let's use this phaser. So we're going to do that again. And then, yeah. Over here. All right. Go ahead and assign this to button 2. Boom, boom, save. Great. Oh, that's a much better phaser. So you're like, congratulations, you have 2 really, really overbearing effects going on. Yes, it's true. But I did it. I can do whatever I want. That's the point here. So now that we have a basic understanding of patching, let's go ahead and like actually make something weird. So I like to make drones out of things. So we're going to start with this really, really basic thing here. We're going to drop our hardware bypass on first. We're going to assign this to button 1, as I always like to do. Wonderful. All right, so let's grab out of spectral 2 voice. So the first thing we're going to do is pitch shift some stuff. When I'm making drones, what I like to do, or when I'm making something that's really, really crazy, that's going to have a lot of different processing, I like to make sure that I have multiple gains that I can assign to various things, or just control my gain staging. So this is going to be our first chain gain, and we're going to plug everything that we're going to be working on for this first chain into this gain, and then this is our sort of master gain, which is again still controlled by this this knob right here. So you can hear that this is a stereo pitch shifter, which is kind of neat. So let's grab another one, go into here, let's put this up to 12, which is going to be an octave, and then this to -5, which is a 7th below. So these 2 voices things, the step 1 and step 2, the 2 steps for the pitch shifting, are left and right. So we're already getting something interesting here. And there's our affected sounds. Let's go ahead and change all these modes to hi-fi so we don't get any artifacts. So that's fantastic. I'm going to assign this gain knob here for my pitch shift stuff to a device. I'm going to assign it to, wait, no, that's gain on and off. I want the gain over here going to knob 1. And we're going to go into advanced and call this S gain for shifter gain. I don't want it to go above 40. I'm going to set the range from -40 to 0. I'm going to set the sensitivity to low so that I have more control over it. So now if I go over here and have it pick up, I have control over my shifter gain, which at this point is the only thing going on. I want to drop a reverb in between there. So let's go over to our reverbs. This guy right here. We're going to take these and plug them in here. Let's move this way over here since this is our final destination, as it were. Let's actually go ahead and add bit crushing to this. So this distortion is a bit crusher, which is cool. We're going to do 2 of them. I just want a little bit of sparkle on top, which is what this is going to get me. And then we'll go in here. Come here, baby. There we go. There we go. That's cool. Okay. I'm hearing like some auto pan. Split our signal coming off the input and give us ourselves our daily bread of a new gain knob. Now that we have a second chain, we can turn down that pitch shift chain that we made, and you can only hear this one. So we're going to turn the width all the way up, frequency down. That's cool. I like that. All right, this I want to have some real distortion on it. So let's go ahead and grab something that gives us some control over the distortion, like this. I may want to filter this going in. So I'm going to grab a swamp. Give me that option there. Okay, cool. So let's undo our gain from this. Simple as that. Gain in, gain in. And first things first, we're going to assign this gain knob to... Oh, it's on and off. I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry, everybody. Gain knob device. Knob to advanced. Low sensitivity. We'll call this pan gain. Cool. So, what else could I do to this saturation thing here to make it interesting? I mean, I could run it through a reverb. I lied. We're going to do another auto pan. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. All right, so now we have 2 independent chains that I have control over via this little dude right here, this little friend. I have done 2 distinct effects chains. I have control over each one, and I can bypass the whole thing. Look at all the controls I still have here. And this is only 1 page. I have access to 3 pages of controls, which is pretty insane. I am only at 28% CPU. I'm only at 23% RAM. So this could go on for a really long time if I wanted to. Just for shits and giggles. Let's go ahead and assign the rate of this second auto panner to knob 3. So we've gone from that to this. One thing I like to do as well is pitch shift like delays, which is pretty normal these days for some of the cool pedals that have come out. So let's go ahead and add another channel to this that's going to create a completely wet signal that we're going to pitch shift up. So now our completely wet signal here from the delay is feeding two pitch shifters independently on stereo. So let's go ahead and turn the feedback up a little bit. That's what we started with, just to remember. Okay. I don't know. I think that's pretty damn cool. And I've only dipped into a tiny bit of what's available here. We'll go ahead and save this. RMR effects, another pitched mod thing. Cool. So now that I've saved this, I can do a couple things. I can go into my banks and I'm going to find that I just made. Here's all the stuff that I have made. And I'm going to drag it into my effects bank. And now I have it there. The other thing I can do is go over to my constructor again and share it. Hey, wow, it's another pitch shifted drone maker. Wow. So this is going to go onto the internet for anyone to grab. And I'm going to record a sample of it. Wonderful. Now I can share this up to the internet for all of you to enjoy. So if you do pick up a Mod Duo X, you can use all of my patches, and I'll put the URL for the patch stuff in the video description because that'll be cool, right? Just to reiterate, there are more plugins, little pedals that you can get on their plugin store. I'll put a link in the description so you can browse. You can see a lot of these I have installed. If I want to install one, it's as easy as clicking install Cream Machine. I'll play you out with some of the other effects patches that I made. In the next video, we'll cover generators. I'm going to unplug this from the computer because I don't need the computer to run this, and I'll just play some stuff. And yeah, my name is Jeremy. This is Red Music Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Screw you.